Hello world, Stefan of Lendergan Games here. If you play this game and you manage to have some fun, feel free to join the Lendergan Games Discord. Also, if you want to help out, any help over Patreon would be much appreciated. As of August 12th, 2022, I have successfully put loading times into the background, making switching levels happen in an instant, instead of unnervingly freezing the game for several seconds every time. Granted, this isn't in any playable update yet, just that the technology is now ready. The coding for this was actually 99% done back on Sunday, but it had a problem that took me until yesterday morning to fix. The problem was that whenever a level loaded in the background, it messed with the player's ability to see things in the foreground. It was like a horror game where the flashlight sometimes works, sometimes lights up only a corner of a room, sometimes lights up only a square underneath the player character's right foot, and sometimes lights up only the left side of what the player sees, and all of that seemingly with no rhyme or reason. I spent the past few days on trying to move the background levels above the foreground level in some way, such as putting them on a separate canvas layer. I then learned some intricacies about how canvas layer operates, such as if your character is moving around on top of said layer, you have to click on it that yes, it should follow the game camera. After 4 days of diagnosing why putting the level on a canvas layer ended up giving me just a black screen, I finally got levels to load properly in the new setup, and promptly found myself back at square one with the same vision problem. After I tried moving levels around on the Z-axis, the root cause of my problems finally hit me. I was thinking of two-dimensional space with a three-dimensional mindset. There is no way to stack levels above and below each other, because when you have only 2 dimensions, there is no above nor below. That's why there's no way to prevent walls on background floors from messing with vision on the foreground level. Once I figured that out, the solution turned out to be simple. Like I said in the beginning, the needed code was 99% done when I reached this problem. The last 1% was just to move the levels around physically like a classic vinyl record jukebox. When a background level becomes a foreground level, it gets moved out of the stack, the previous foreground one gets moved back into the stack, and all the background levels on the stack get to give each other vision problems over there. With that Gordian knot finally disentangled, I've discovered that there is likely also a real-life issue that had been hampering progress. For the past few weeks, the building where I work had been 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Outside of a couple days, this wasn't due to broken air conditioning, but simply because of its inability to compete with the 90-degree weather. It hadn't occurred to me until recently that a likely reason I could rarely concentrate when I got home was because mild overheating for 8 hours at a time had, itself, sapped most of my energy for the day. As for the 2-week gap since the last devlog, I just didn't want to say still nothing done for 3 devlogs in a row, so I wanted to reach a milestone and then announce that I had indeed reached it. Moving forward from here, on the other hand, I'm going to give myself a week and a half before the next devlog because that seems like the least awkward way to reset it to being on Mondays again. One thing that will need to be done by then is smoothing out the background loading. Even though it's loading in the background now, every time a level gets added, you can feel the growing pains. If that gets sorted out quickly enough, the next items on the to-do list are stairs for going back up and auto-saving.